Growing up as a kid, I was a dreamer.
Hi, I'm Avery, and I'm going to play my song.
Avery.
Hi, it's Miss.
Dreamed of traveling the world, living in Seattle, opening up a coffee shop, being a vet or a wedding planner. I dreamed a lot, and as a kid, that's what you're supposed to do. But as I grew up, I started to feel the pressure of life and my parents' expectations come down on me. I was supposed to fit in this cookie-cutter image of the life my parents had envisioned for me, and I tried so hard to fit. And through many trials and errors, I thought I was finally doing it right. Learn as many instruments as you can, stay involved at church, volunteer with every opportunity, get into sports, work hard at school, and be smart. Get into the college of their choice. Finish as fast as you can so you don't end up with a huge loan, and finally, graduate as a nurse with a stable job. I followed the path my parents carved out for me almost to a T. And don't get me wrong, I love my parents and they've given me practically everything I have. But through all of that, I started to lose a lot of the parts that made me, me. The parts that I loved. When I first started nursing school, I was excited and also terrified. More excited though.
Tell me more about chronic bronchitis.
It was an opportunity to prove to my parents and to myself that I could do it, that I could succeed. It was fun at first. Clinicals were exciting, classes were silly.
It's like your jugular singing to you.
I made new friends, started new relationships, all while studying hard and passing my classes. It wasn't so bad, and I told myself to give it time, and somehow I would be sure about wanting to be a nurse, where I'd want to work and eventually fall in love with it. But I fell into routine. School, clinicals, work. School, clinicals, work. Over and over again. Quarter after quarter, it stopped getting better, and without me even realizing it, I was no longer having fun. I stopped looking forward to classes and clinicals and instead looked forward to when it was finally over. I was exhausted, burnt out, losing relationships, disconnected, and lost with what I wanted to do. I started to count down the days until the quarter was over, and quarters until the year was over. I just wasn't happy, and it took a couple of tough reality checks for me to realize that I wasn't enjoying it at all, that I was deteriorating into a person I didn't want to be. In the last year and a half, self-care never crossed my mind because I felt like I didn't have time for it. This past summer was a well-deserved break that I needed from a lot of things. It gave me time to reflect and realize where I was at in my life, and I didn't like it. So if later never comes, why can't I be happy now? I'm gonna be honest with you, nursing wasn't my dream. But I also never wanted to disappoint my parents. Nursing is a very particular career, and it truly takes a certain kind of person to be a nurse. You need to have an abundance of compassion, patience, humility, perseverance, and a heart of gold. But aside from this, I believe you need to love what you're doing even before you've started going to school for it. Nursing isn't a career you eventually fall in love with. It's a career you already have to love, accepting the fact that it only gets harder, and you'll face a lot of hard days that may burn you out faster than you'd expect. I admire and respect nurses more than you know, but working hard to be something I didn't want to be wore me out, fast. And it took me all this time to take a step back and realize how unhappy I was. So I finally decided enough was enough. I can't put my dreams and hopes on hold for later to pursue something that wasn't my dream in the first place. If later never comes, why not now? Why can't I do things and pursue the passions I love now? So I did just that. I pursued my passion for pottery and ceramics and built my own ceramic studio at home. Spent time with people I care about. Traveled to places far from home, laughed as much as possible, and just lived life for me, and only me.
Stop crying, it's okay.
I decided to take a detour from the path carved out for me, and I can confidently say that I've never been happier. If you were like me, desperately trying to fit into an image that others expect you to fit into, following a path you don't love, and falling into a routine that cages you in and wears you out, take time to take a step back, reflect, and find your detour. Life's too short to be pursuing discontent and unhappiness. So don't put off your happiness for later. Because if later never comes, why not now?
Thank you for listening, and goodbye.